Hello there. Good morning and welcome to the news on the AM show with me, Noella Karaniali. In our top story, government is intensifying efforts to ensure the safe and dignified return of displaced residents with the inauguration of a 7-member mediation committee to resolve the Gbenyiri conflict in the Sola Tuna Kalba district. Now, the clashes have claimed several lives and forced more than 50,000 people from their homes. Interior Minister Mubarak Mohammed Muntaka inaugurated the committee, chaired by peace-building expert Emmanuel Habuka Bobande and Collins Frimpong reports.
The Gbenyiri conflict has left villages deserted and families broken. More than 50,000 people have fled their homes. At least 13,000 have crossed into neighboring countries, while others remain scattered across the savannah region with nothing but what they carried and when the violence erupted. Amid this devastation, government has inaugurated a 7-member mediation committee chaired by peace-building expert Emmanuel Bombande. The team has a 1-month mandate with clear terms of reference to facilitate the safe and dignified return of displaced residents. Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarak tasked the committee to promote reconciliation and dialogue.
Members of the committee, this responsibility is a heavy but honorable one. The people of Gbenyiri and its surrounding areas look up to you as instruments of peace, reconciliation, and healing. Government looks to you for practical, credible, and sustainable recommendations that will not only bring relief to the affected communities, but also foster long-term stability and development in the Savannah region.
He further assured the committee of full logistical support, urging them to collaborate with civil society organizations, development partners, and faith-based institutions in carrying out their work.
The ministry will provide the necessary secretariat and logistical support to enable you to discharge your responsibilities effectively. I'll also encourage you to leverage partnership with civil society organizations, development partners, and faith-based institutions as you carry out this noble task.
Chairman of the committee, Emmanuel Bombande, pledged to build government efforts to ensure the safe return of displaced residents and restore calm to the affected communities.
So the first thing the committee is seized upon is to build on the Honorable Minister's mission so that we can expand the scope of reaching out to everybody to appease our hearts and to bring back the sense of belonging to one another. A people who have been always together, but something has happened and they separated. And in that separation, people took long journeys outside their homes. How do we begin the journey to return to our communities?
For the thousands displaced, the work of this committee is crucial. It is a chance to return home, to build lost livelihoods, and to restore a sense of dignity after months of fear and uncertainty. Reporting for J News, I am Collins Frimpong.
Away from that, Ghana is emerging as a strategic partner in a global movement aimed at transforming cities through local leadership and innovation as the World College of Mayors ramp up its international outreach. Now, during a visit to Ghana, Chief Operating Officer of the institution, Dr. Manohar Roy, outlined the organization's ambitious plans to bring mayors together from across continents to exchange solutions for sustainable and inclusive development. The following report has more.
The College of Mayors seeks to create a knowledge-sharing ecosystem where city leaders can learn from one another, replicate successful projects, and build networks that drive long-term growth in their communities. Manohar Roy is the organization's Chief Operating Officer.
There are many projects that happen in, say for example, if you take Tamale, there is maybe some small town there in Tamale, which is doing some wonderful project. That is not known to maybe a city in Kano region of Nigeria, or for that matter, say a region in India. We want all these mayors to come up so that sustainable development happens, and it happens at the grassroots level.
Abdallah Salam is the Cultural Director of World College of Mayors.
World College of Mayors is there to promote Ghanaian youth, not just Ghana, Africa, and entire global. We do training, and we have sports event, cultural event. And if you are able to attend one of our events, trust you me, there are a lot to acquire and gain from.
With grassroots development at the core of its mission, the World College of Mayors sees local leadership as the engine for global progress, and Ghana may soon become one of its flagship examples.
Now, spare parts dealers at Abossey in Accra have served notice to foreign nationals operating in the enclave to vacate their shops or face forceful eviction. The group embarked on a sensitization exercise today, giving their counterpart 48 hours to leave the market. Adobia Asare was at Abossey earlier and has filed this report.
It's good news. It's just the name of a spare parts shop here in Abossey, but there's no good news here. Ghanaian traders are raising concerns about foreign nationals taking over their businesses, putting pressure on them. We are here to gauge the mood at Abossey Spare Parts Hub and get their concerns and exactly what they are going through. Anoban runs the Good News Spare Parts shop. He says they've now become orphans in their own land because authorities fight them instead of fighting for them, while foreign nationals thrive in their businesses.
Personally, I feel very, very bad because we are orphans in our own land. Why am I saying so? We don't have anybody to talk to for us, because Nigerian people will come. They will bring the spare parts from Nigeria to Ghana here to come and supply to us. Maybe, let me say, maybe an engine, maybe a Kia engine that they will supply to me, maybe 8,000 Ghana. And I will put it inside my shop. Somebody will go to that person who sold his own to me for 8,000, and the person will give it to the customer 7,000 cedis.
Kennedy Till says harassment from the GRA and the conduct of foreign nationals pushed him out of the spare parts trade after more than 2 decades.
Look at a young man like me, hustling to get capital, have my own shop, rent it, and then trying to make a living. Or sadly, a revenue authority will come to you that we have seen you open a shop. I know I've opened a shop, I have to come and register with you. But as soon as you give yourself to this, it's like they have gotten you. The intimidation that they will bring to you, kind of story, what you have not done, they will tell you have done. Especially bringing these VAT issues and other stuff. I've suffered a lot from their hand. Finally, I have to close the shop.
While we were there, a truck moved through the market announcing the closure of all shops owned by foreign nationals by Wednesday, September 10, 2025. But these traders say they've heard such announcements too many times to be convinced. They want real action to secure their businesses. For Joy News, I'm Adobia Asare.
And from Abossey, a group of newly posted teachers from universities and colleges of education say they have gone a full year without salaries. They blame the Ghana Education Service for what they call unfair and unsustainable treatment. Now, despite several meetings with GES officials, including the Director General, the teachers say no solution has been offered. Many admit they now survive on loans and the kindness of friends and family. And there's more in the following report.
A group of newly posted teachers from universities and colleges of education have threatened to embark on a demonstration on the principal streets of Accra in protest against the government's failure to pay their salaries and issue staff ID numbers.
The Ministry of Finance releases the necessary funds to pay our arrears and salaries without further delay. We are hereby giving notice that if by the end of September 2025, we are not issued our staff ID numbers, validated and paid our salaries and arrears, we will stage a massive demonstration on the principal streets of Accra to register our displeasure and the hardship we are going through.
According to the teachers, they have worked for 12 months without pay and have still not been granted access to their Ghana Education Service staff IDs, which are required for salary processing and other official services. They claim that although they were posted alongside other teachers who are currently receiving salaries, they themselves have been left out.
Specifically, teachers from the colleges of education have served for 12 months without salary, excluding September. And teachers from the universities have served for 8 months without pay, excluding September. We wish to emphasize that while some have been placed on the payroll and have been receiving their salaries and arrears since December 2024, many others are still yet to be placed on the payroll. Among those yet to be placed on payroll, some have already been issued staff ID numbers but have not been paid, while others have not been given staff IDs at all.
The teachers also expressed frustration over being posted from Accra to other regions of the country without any form of accommodation or allowances. They say they have been forced to survive on loans and the benevolence of friends and family.
Survivorship has been very tough because we rely mainly on loans from our colleagues, friends and family. Sometimes you even call a friend and he will not pick up your call anymore because he thinks you are come to beg him for 20 cedis, for 50 cedis, just to feed.
We've worked for 1 year, we've worked for 8 months, and we need our salaries. I'm from Accra, but I'm teaching in the north. Food, water, look, we are just living on the benevolence of our colleagues. And loans, quick loan.
And in a significant step towards promoting staff health and motivation, the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council, ARCC, has commissioned a new sick bay at its premises. The facility will offer first aid and basic medical attention to staff and their immediate dependent, marking a new era of health-focused workplace support. There's more on this report.
The establishment of the SIG to the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council will allow workers access to medical services without leaving the premises. The Ashanti Regional Minister, Honorable Dr. Frank Amwakwehene, commissioned a new SIG bay, the first of its kind. He mentioned a past incident showing the need for such a facility. He emphasized the importance of staff health due to their workload and said referrals will be made when necessary. The SIG bay is connected to the Suntreso Hospital for additional support. He assured staff they won't need a health insurance card and encouraged them to make full use of the facility.
The workload of the RCC and the demand on the staff here will require that their health needs are also taken care of. So I spoke with the Chief Director to make available an office space so that we'll be able to get it set up to attend to the basic needs when it comes to health conditions among others. And thankfully, we are here today to realize that dream. I want to thank the hospital administrator and the staff from Suntreso Hospital, who we are directly linked to them, so that in case of any issues, we would be able to get the needed support from that hospital as well. Here is free of charge. No need to bring any health insurance card or money for medication whatsoever. But thankfully, we have our mini pharmacy stocked with all the basic and emergency drugs, which is going for free. So we want to encourage our staff here that don't wait until your work is over before you want to go to the hospital. Keep them busy because you are the reason why they are here.
The Chief Coordinating Director, Michael Owusu Amwakon, who identified the absence of a sick bay upon assuming office, collaborated with the Regional Minister to establish the facility. The Regional Coordinating Director advised staff to make responsible use of the sick bay. While the facility includes beds for emergency rest and treatment, he warned against misuse.
We'll entreat the staff here to make good use of the place. Not that the place should be used as a place for them to go and relax. If you are not feeling well, you can go there. But if you don't have any health issues, don't take advantage that the place is set up because there is a sick bed there that you can go there and relax and not doing your work as expected. But they should make good use of it. The intended purpose that the place was, set up, they should let us, go by it.
With 47 constituencies in the Ashanti region, the facility is part of a broader vision to improve the welfare of government employees. Staff members like Efia Konedu have expressed gratitude in the establishment of the sick bay.
Actually, for some years now, we've not had any sick bay at the RCC, but thanks to the ruling government, through Honorable Dr. Frank Amakwehine, now he's brought initiative and he's built a new sick bay for us, which is going to help the staff. So we are very appreciative. 8 months in government for someone to have this great initiative for its staff, I think is amazing, and we appreciate him so much on that.
The opening of the ARCC sick bay is a milestone in prioritizing staff health and well-being in the public sector. By offering free, accessible first aid services and promoting a culture of preventive health care, the facility is set to improve productivity and morale among workers. It stands as a model for other government institutions. Reporting for Joy News, Josephine Sego.
And from the Ashanti region, the principal of the Commander College of Education, Comenco, Very Reverend Professor Kwesi Nkum Wilson, has made a passionate appeal to the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, to abolish the quota system, describing it as a major barrier to meeting the country's growing demand for teachers. Addressing the college's 15th congregation, Professor Wilson emphasized that the policy undermines equitable access and merit-based admissions, stressing that its removal is crucial for expanding opportunities for aspiring teachers nationwide.
The establishment of the SIG
590 teachers graduated from the Commander College of Education during the 15th congregation of the college. The theme for the day was sustaining excellence in teacher education, addressing infrastructure challenges. In his speech, the valedictorian of the 2024 batch of graduates, Dominic Graham, urged his colleagues to drive transformation in the field of education.
Each of us carry a story of perseverance, sacrifice, and triumph. Fellow graduates, as we stand on the brink of tomorrow, let us remember that we are not just graduates. We are torchbearers, builders of minds, and guardians of dreams. Let us go forth as teachers who do more than impart knowledge. Let us ignite transformation.
The principal of the Commander College of Education, Very Reverend Professor Kwesi Nkum Wilson, advocated for colleges of education to offer Ghanaian language as an elective course to expand Ghana's education curriculum.
I insisted that colleges of education should be mandated to offer Ghanaian language as elective. Every college training teachers to teach Ghanaian language at the basic school. It is important we do that. Not only that, music and physical education should be compulsory for every teacher, especially at the basic education.
He also appealed to GTEC for the removal of the quota system to allow for the training of more teachers in colleges of education.
Colleges should be able to take that bold step towards equitable access and merit-based enrollment, where the allowance paid should be stopped. It has lost its value. We have people with single digits not getting admission. As I speak today, I have over 3,800 qualified applicants waiting to enter Commander College, but I will not be able to take more than 400 because of quota. We believe that that quota system should be removed for us to. Here, a lot of teachers will be trained, and that is where we are going to create employment, so that Ghana Education Service will make a policy that to operate a private school, you need not less than 60% of your teachers to be professionals. In this case, we are going to train teachers for both private and public schools. They are all citizens of Ghana.
From Commander, Abigail Lesol Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
Market update first, and we'll get started. And to our first story, an International Monetary Fund IMF team is expected in Ghana later this month for the penultimate review of the country's program, which is scheduled to conclude in May next year. Now, that's according to information obtained by Joy Business from sources familiar with Ghana's ongoing engagement with the fund. George Uafe has more in this report.
This would not be the last review before the program ends, as there will be another one in April 2026. That will be the final review for Ghana before the program ends with the IMF in May 2026. A review that will take place later this month has been described by some as very important, as the IMF is now worried about whether Ghana will stick to the fiscal discipline post-program completion. The review will primarily focus on the economic data ending June 2025. We understand that some of the issues that will come up strongly during the review is Ghana's inflation performance, the sustainability of Bank of Ghana's reserves build-up, a report on the audit of arrears, and weak private sector banks that needs to be recapitalized, as well as state banks. The rest will be how government is working to deal with the revenue shortfalls in the face of the cedi's appreciation against the US dollar, social spending shortfalls, as well as arrears build-up in other sectors. If Ghana passes this review, some $360 million should be disbursed to hit Bank of Ghana's account in October this year. Since Ghana signed up to the IMF program, it has so far received some $2.3 billion out of the $3 billion promised under this fund program.
And away from that, international relations expert Professor Vladimir Danso is urging Ghana to push for a review over the decision by Millennium Challenge Corporation not to extend financial support to Ghana. Now, this was after the corporation raised awareness or concerns about delays by Ghana in reaching a deal with some U.S. firms on restructuring their debt. Professor Danso says Ghana must seek to convince the U.S. about dealing with their concerns.
Now, if you ask me, you can't force the U.S. until through their bidding. If we are prepared to play ball with them, fine, then we get it. But if we want to be resilient and dig our own way out and not rely, because if you rely on this permanent, then you will see that you are hiccuping a certain when they will stop. So for me, yes, automatically we can ask for review. But if they don't, let us be resilient in our, let us understand what is at stake. Because what they might be demanding of us might be some security guarantee. Give us your airspace for something, or give us an airbase, or give us whatever it is, which they are doing to almost every country. And they've done this to every, and they are building a jumbo jet-size kind of airfield in Koryogo, and all is geared towards annihilating whatever is going on in Burkina. Because what does Koryogo need in the northern part of Ivory Coast? A big jumbo jet-size taking runway.
Let's take the news in the commodity markets now. And that's it for the business updates. But of course, sports is up next. And for sure, I know that the Black Stars is in the news following their win against Mali yesterday. Muftana Villa has the rest of the story.
Thank you very much. And the critical aspect of it is that many football fans are saying that their destiny of going to the USA is in the hands of the Black Stars. These and many more right after this.